Hello everyone, I'm Mustafa Tosun. I'm visiting faculty at SDSU. In this lesson we are going to talk about programming in Matlab, but first let me introduce myself. My name is Mustafa Tosun. I graduated from computer engineering in Pamukkale University in Turkey. I also completed my Master of Science in Pamukkale University too. Then I have started my PhD in Information Technologies at International Institute of Computer in Ege University in Turkey. Now I'm here as a visiting faculty and I'm doing my PhD research in here. My research area is autonomous drone networks and connectivity issues of the drone networks. And what is Matlab? Matlab is a programming language, but it's a little bit different programming language. It's a specific programming language. It's developed for matrix operations, and the Matlab name is coming from matrix laboratory, mat from matrix and lab from laboratory. The Matlab mostly used for signal processing, image processing, data visualization, and artificial intelligence. Engineers love Matlab. And how to install it? You need to go to matworks.com and you need to sign up with your edu email addresses, and you need to download the compatible setup. The compatible about is if your computer is Windows, if your operating system is Windows, then you need to install the setup for Windows. If it's Mac, you need to install a setup for Mac. Then you can install it. It's really easy. And let me introduce to Matlab Environment. Let's open Matlab Environment. As you can see, there are some windows in there. At the left side, you can see that current folder, and here a command window, and the right side there's a workspace. The current folder shows a folder that you are working in. Right now you can see that C users Mustafa documents Matlab. It's an empty folder right now. And the command window, it's a window that you can write your commands. For example, a = 5, as you can see. And at the right side there's a workspace. The workspace shows your variables in Matlab. For example, I wrote a = 5. The Matlab created a variable in the workspace, and you can see the name is a, the value is 5, the size is 1 by 1, the byte 8 byte, and the class of the variable is double. In the command window, you can write any command you want. For example, let's create another variable with b = hello. Right now we create the string, and you can see in the workspace the value is hello, and the size is 1 by 1, and it's 150 bytes, and its class is string. In command window, you can use your up and down arrows to reach the previous commands that you write. For example, here is a = 5, and here is b = hello. Let's go to the PowerPoint. And each programming language has a specific syntax. What is syntax? A syntax is a rule of writing codes, a group of rules of writing codes. And in Matlab, the assignments are always from right to left. let's see. Right now you can't write hello equals b. It will throw an error. Why? Because the assignments are always from right to left. You need to write a variable name to assign something, and equals, after equals you need to write what you want to assign. For example, right now, hello world. Yes. And let's talk about variable names. You can define any variable name which includes letters, numbers, and underscores. For example, my first variable equals 8, and my second variable equals 6. But you cannot start with numbers and underscores. For example, you cannot write it will throw an error because you cannot start with 2, and also you cannot start with underscore equals 6. Yes, it will throw the same error again. You need to start with only letters. The variables are case sensitive. For example, my first variable equals 5, and let's start with uppercase. My first variable equals 6. Right now, as you can see in the workspace, there's a 2 different variables, my first variable and my first variable, but one of them starts with uppercase, one of them starts with lowercase. They are different. My first variable, the lowercase one was 5, and when I write the command window my first variable with lowercase, it will return 5. If I write with uppercase my first variable, it will return 6. And you can complete your commands with tab button. For example, after I write my, then I can use tab button, and it will list the possible commands. There are 3 commands start with my, and right now you can choose any of you want. For example, this, and it was 6 too. And as you can see, there's a workspace in here, and if you want to close your Matlab, if you close your Matlab, the workspace will be lost. And to save this workspace, you can use save command. Now it saved the workspace into the current folder. As you can see, there is a matlab.mat file in your current folder. And if you want to clear your command window, you can use clc command. It will clean your command window. But if you want to clean your workspace, you need to use clear command. As you can see, my workspace is empty right now. And let's clear command window again. And if you want to reload the data from the workspace that we said before, you can use load command. If you write load, it will load matlab.mat file in your directory into the workspace. Right now, if I write an A, I can see 5 because it was loaded. It's loaded from matlab.mat. And let's change something, and A equals 9, and I want to save it again. Let's save it again and clear my workspace, clear my window, and if I load my matlab.mat file again, right now A will be 9 because I changed and I saved again. If you want to save your workspace with a specific name, you can use save command again, but you need to give us a name. For example, let's say first. No, not like that. Yes. As you can see in the current folder, there's a first.mat. Let's clear the workspace. Let's clear the command window. And if you want to load first.mat, you need to write load first. It will load the first.mat file into your workspace. Okay, and when you write A, it will echo the value of A. If you don't want to echo, you can use semicolon. For example, when you write A equal 8, it will echo the A. But if you use A equals 10 and at the end of line a semicolon, it will not echo the value of A. And if your command will be too long, you can divide your command in 2 lines or 2 or more lines with 3 dots. For example, A equals 99, no, not 99, A equals 3 dot, enter, and you can write the rest of your command in the next line. Let's say 99. Right now it will echo A because we didn't use the semicolon at the end of line. Yes. And MATLAB uses the help system. What is a help system? Let's clear our command window. If you want to learn about any command, you can use help system. For example, let's learn something about the save command. You need to write help and save. After you click enter, the MATLAB will return you helping text about save command. Yes, right now. As you can see, there is a text about save command. You can see all save commands, all attributes. The save command can take 1 parameter, or save command can take 2 variables, 2 parameters, and more. You can see everything about save. And also you can use doc command. And if you write a doc and your command name, let's say doc save, now it will open a browser and in that browser it will open the documentation of save command. And now it's trying to open. Yes, right now, as you can see the all save commands in here, and there's a description about save and how to use it. There's examples in there, and if you want to learn about anything, any command, you can write help and doc commands. And also in the up and right corner there is a bar, there is a search bar. You can write here also the command name. When you write it, there's some options and you can choose any of them. Let's select and save again. Now it will open a browser again and the documentation. Yeah, this is the same page. And let's start with variable types in the Matlab. Let's clear everything. Yes, let me open my notes in here. Yes, right now let's start with a again. A equal 5. When you write a equal 5, it will create a variable in your workspace, and as you can see, the name of variable is a, the value is 5, and the size of that variable is 1 by 1 because it's only one number. And you can see that class is double. Double can keep any number, the decimals and the floating points, everything. For example, b equals 1.5. As you can see in the workspace, the variable name is b and the value 1.5. It's not integer, it keeps all integers and it keeps all real numbers. And also we have integers, but in Matlab the integers is a little bit different than other programming languages. If you want to create an integer, you need to use integer 8. For example, you can use integer 8, 16, 32 and 64. And let's say c equals integer 8, 5. As you can see in the workspace, we have a variable c right now. Its value 5, its size 1 by 1, but this time its class is integer 8. What does this 8 means? The 8 means its bit count. We can create integer variables with 8 bytes if you use int 8. And int 8 can store -2 over 8, 2 over 7 and the positive 2 over 7, because the first bit is the sign. And let's write c equals int 8 555. As you can see, you cannot assign any value bigger than 127 because it's 2 over 7. The first bit is the sign bit and the rest of the 7 bit is the number. And integers are decimals. And let's say c equals int, let's say u int 8 555. This time we used uint function, and this function returns us a unsigned int variables, and this time you don't need any sign bit, and you can use all 8 bit for the number, and you can reach the maximum value is which is 2/8, and which is 255, of course -1. And we have char, and we have char characters. For example, let's start d equals d equals a or age. As you can see in the workspace, the value is a character of age and the size 1 by 1, and its class is char. And let's write d equals the single quote. You need to define the char variables with single quotes. Let's write hello world. Right now you can see that d is hello world and its size changed. It has 1 by 11. Why 11? Because we have 5 from hello, 1 from space, and 5 from world, and total is 11. As you can see, it's char. But there's a difference between chars and strings. In MATLAB, if you want to define any string, you need to use, let's say, s equals, you need to use these double quotes. Let's write hello world. And as you can see in the workspace, s is hello world again, but this time its size 1 by 1, but it's 1 by 1 string. Length of string, which is hello world, is 1. But if we write length of d, it will return us 11. There's a difference in here. And let's continue. We have arrays. Actually, in d equals hello world, let's open that command again, and d equals hello world, in here we used some arrays. How? Because in the workspace, d equals hello world and its size is 1 by 11. That means it contains 11 character. Let's create an integer array. A equals, you need to use brackets 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As you can see in the workspace, we have changed the value of a. Right now, a is not a scalar. A right now is an array, which size is 1 by 5. And if you want to reach any element of an array, you need to use parentheses. And if you write a0, it will throw an error. Why? Because in MATLAB the indices starts with 1, not 0. This is different than other languages, other known languages, programming languages. Because other programming languages like C, Python, C#, Java, the indices are start with 0. But in MATLAB it starts with 1. If you write a1, you will get the first element of the array. Let's say or 5. Let's say A5. Now I will have 1. If I write 6, it will throw an error. Why? The maximum index of A is 5. And if I write 6, if I try to read the A6, it will throw an error. But if you try to assign something to A6, let's say 8, it will not throw an error. Right now, it will add the 8 at the end of the array. If you write A10 equals 10, right now it will extend the array till the 10th index, and it will assign to 10th index at 10. As you can see, the 7th, 8th and 9th indexes are filled by 0. And this is the double array. It's not integer array, it's a double array because we didn't use integer functions. And we have different data types like struct. A struct is like an array, but it's a little bit different. The structs can store multiple variables like arrays. For example, in here, A store 10 double variables. But the structs can keep multiple variables too, but the structs don't need to use indices. For example, let's create a struct. First struct. If you want to create a struct, you can directly write first struct dot var1 equals 5. Right now, and Matlab created a first struct in your workspace, and its class is struct. And in that struct, there is a var1 field, and that field is 5. You can use fields instead of indexes in structs. Let's add another field. First struct equals, not equals, first struct dot variable 2 equals. In here you can see the difference between structs and arrays. The structs can store different kinds of variables. For example, variable 1 keeps a double variable, and variable 2 keeps hello variable. In arrays, all the variables should be same class. For example, a double array, a char array, a string array, like that. But in struct, you can keep any kind of variable, and you can reach the variables with first struct with field names. For example, variable 1 instead of indexes in the array. We have another data structure which named cells. Let's write a cell. A cell is a combination of struct and array. And a cell can store multiple kind of data like structs, and a cell use indexes to reach the elements like arrays. Let's check it out. And we need to define, first we need to define a cell. Let's define a cell. Let's write P, but this time you need to use the curly brackets and you need to use indexes. Let's say P curly brackets 1 equals 5. Now we have a cell array, and the first element of that cell array is 5. Let's add another variable, P2 equals hello world. Right now I have added a char array into the second index of my cell array. If you write P here, you will see that you have two elements. One of them is 5 and one of them is hello world. If you try to reach P3, it will throw an error. Why? Because we don't have third index in P. But if you write P7 equals 99, it will fill all the indexes through 7 by 0, and the 7th index are filled with 99. It will not throw an error like arrays. Right now, if you try to reach P5, it will return anything because it's not filled by 0 this time. It's filled empty arrays. It has nothing in P5. If you want to fill 5, you can assign anything. Let's say this time we can assign a string here, another hello, this time uppercase world, and as you can see, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth is hello world with uppercase world, and third, fourth, and sixth indexes are still empty. Let's check 6. As you can see, it's empty. It has nothing in there. And let's look at the conversions. It's clear, and let's define A equals 5.6. Right now A is double. If I want to convert A into an integer, I need to use integer functions. Integer 8, 16, 32, and 64. You can use any of them. Let's use 64. And you need to give a parameter in here. Let's say A. Right now I'm trying to convert A into an integer. When I try to do that, now B is 6. Why? Because the Matlab rounded the 5.6 into the 6. For example, if we use a number instead of a, let's say 5.1, right now it will round it to 5. And if you want to round always to bottom, you need to use floor function. B equals floor 5.6. As you see, it will get always floor. And let's try integer 64. If I use integer 64 function with 5.8, you will see the 6 in there. But why? Because after 0.5 it will round upside, and before 0.5 it will round to downside. For example, let's write 5.5, it will round to upside. If you write 5.4, it will round to downside. And if you want to always to round to downside, you can use floor. 5.8 is 5, and if you want to round it to upside, and you can use sail 5.1. now it will return 6. And also you can convert a string variable or char variable into the integer or double variables. Let's clear again, clear the command window, and right now let's define a string. Let's say 5.5. now this is a string, and right now I want to convert that string into a double. Let's say D equals, how can I change them? There's multiple ways to do that, and let's use right now double function, and I can write S as a parameter into the double function. Right now I have D, which is double, and its value is 5.5. and there's another function to do that, which is D equals str to double, str to double, sorry, it was Turkish. str to double, and I can give S as a parameter. Right now it will convert my string into the double, and it's assigned to D, which is 5.5. and let me check another things. Yes, let's look at chars. Let's define a char with C equals 5. As you can see in the workspace, its size is 1 by 1. That means C keeps only one char. And let's try to convert it into double or integer. Let's try this time integer. Okay, I is equal integer 8 C. As you can see, it returns something else. Why? Because if you try to convert a char variable to a number, you will get a code. What code? It's an ASCII code. This is ASCII code of 5. For example, if you write here integer 8, but this time we can use any letter, let's say T. Now I will have an ASCII code of character T. the ASCII code of t is 116. This is why I get when I try to convert a t to integer. And you can use these functions with arrays. For example, let's use a character arrays. Right now, integer 8 let's write again hello world. Now I receive an integer array, and this array has 11 elements. Why? Because I give an array with whose size is 1 by 11 char, and it has returned to me 1 by 11 integer array. You can see that age, the ASCII code of age is 104, E is 101, L, as you can see, L is 108, and another L and another 108. And let's clear here. And also, we can also change the double arrays into the integer arrays. Let's check it, and let's create a double array. D equal 5.1, 6.4, and 8. I have 1 by 3 double array. Right now I can convert is into the integer array with integer sorry, with integer function, but we need to put some number here, some bit number here. And if I give d as a parameter, it will return 1 by 3 integer array. The array is a row vector. We will come there in the next lesson. And as you can see, 5.1 become 5, 6.4 become 6, and 6.0 8.0 become 8. And this is the end of our first lesson. Thank you for listening to me, and see you in the next lesson. Bye.